I think it would probably be better if we in the political community, if we conservatives could get together and go in and say, no, we're going to assert our rights as Americans and take this power back from left-wing Silicon Valley oligarchs. But we can take what we can get, all right? If Elon Musk is the best way for us to go in and retake some of this political control, then that's the thing that we're going to do. And maybe that means Musk buys Twitter. Maybe that means Musk just destroys Twitter. Maybe that means Musk never wanted to buy Twitter in the first place, and this was all a long troll to destroy the company, which increasingly it seems like it was. Elon Musk tweeted out the other day, quote, 20% fake spam accounts, while 4 times what Twitter claims, could be much higher. My offer was based on Twitter's SEC filings being accurate. Yesterday, Twitter's CEO publicly refused to show proof of less than 5% bot accounts. This deal cannot move forward until he does. So do you see what's happened here? All the while we've been waiting, all of Elon's cryptic messages, he's quoting poetry. He's suggesting he'll maybe join the board. He won't join the board. He'll make a tender offer. He doesn't need to make the tender offer. He's going to go. And what is he doing? They said if the board rejects your bid, Elon, what are you going to do? He said, I've got a plan B. I'm not going to tell you what that is now. Well, plan B or C or D might not even be buying Twitter. It might just be destroying Twitter. Because he's saying, look, I made my offer of whatever it was, $44 billion or something, based on the idea that Twitter has less than 5% bot accounts. Now, does anyone believe that fewer than 5% of the accounts on Twitter are bots and spam? I don't. I'm just a regular Twitter user. I think that number is way higher. If you use Twitter, surely you're going to think that number is way higher. Elon Musk uses Twitter a lot, and he looked into it enough to potentially buy Twitter. You don't think that Elon Musk maybe thought, I think Twitter's official filings on the spam bot accounts, they're probably a little low. No, I think he probably suspected they were a little low. And so he goes in and he makes the offer, and then it goes all the way along here, and then he says, wait a second, I'm looking over your Securities and Exchange Commission filings here, and it's looking to me like you might have been dishonest on some of your filings with the government. It's looking to me like you might be committing some fraud against your investors here. Prove to me that fewer than 5% of your accounts are bots and spam. And the CEO of Twitter, for now the CEO of Twitter, Parag Agrawal, said, no, we can't do that. I wish we could, but there's no way. We don't have any access to show. And Elon just responded with the little feces emoji. Right underneath, he said, I'm pretty sure you can, but you don't want to because what it's going to show is that you guys are perpetrating a fraud. Whatever Elon does here, whether he buys it and opens up speech for conservatives a little bit, at least to some degree, or if he just destroys Twitter, either way, that will be a positive development. Either way, I cheer him on. I don't know which is funnier. I actually can't decide which is fun. It's a longer term joke if Elon runs Twitter and gets to troll from Twitter. But it is a spectacular, magnificent joke if he just does all of this to destroy Twitter for perpetrating a fraud. He would be destroying it not just to troll them and get his kicks. He would be doing it with a purpose. He actually would be exposing a fraud. He actually would be improving speech in the public square. It's as I frequently say, it is not enough to own the libs. It's good to own the libs. I'm pro owning the libs, but one needs to own the libs with purpose. You don't want to be frivolously owning the libs. Why is Elon doing all of this? Is he sincere? What's his end game? A lot of people have pointed out that Elon Musk is a lib. He's a Democrat. He's an Obama Democrat. He voted for Obama twice, I believe. Well, now Elon says he's officially a Republican. He tweeted out, or I don't know if he tweeted this. I don't know how much he's using Twitter these days, but he at least stated, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically. Like, I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear. Now, this election, I will. He posted a meme the other day of him standing still to the left of center. You had the left of the political aisle and the right of the political aisle. He was left of center. And then the leftists ran so far left, and the right didn't really move. The right actually moved a little bit to the left. And so now all of a sudden, Elon, having not moved at all, is center right. That's what happened. And so is Elon a Republican? Is he being sincere? I suspect he probably is. I think there are a lot of people who would have called themselves liberals or leftists even, or center-left, who now are firmly on the right because they hold such radical positions as don't chop off little kids' genitals, such radical positions as don't kill little babies 1 minute before they're born, such radical positions as, hey, maybe a handful of woke bazillionaires shouldn't completely dominate our political discourse. And the establishment is trying desperately to counter that narrative. So Sonny Hostin on The View insists, no, Elon, you're wrong. No, most Americans, you're wrong. Actually, it's the Republicans who have moved much further to the right.
They are playing to the base. I mean, if you look at all the studies, the Republican Party has moved further to the right than Democrats have to the left. There's a Pew Research Center analysis that finds that on average, Democrats and Republicans are farther apart ideologically today than at any time in the past 50 years. And that ideological divide breaks down to the Republican Party being an extremist party, and the Democratic Party actually, as you just mentioned, Sarah, moving more to the center.
But isn't the problem the primaries? Because you can't get through these primaries unless you are extreme, especially right now in the Republican Party.
That claim that Sonny Hostin just made is so ridiculous, it almost isn't worth responding to. I will respond to it because it's going to be a common refrain in this election. On what issue have the Democrats moved to the center? On what issue? On abortion? No, they went from safe, legal, and rare to abortion on demand without apology up to the moment of birth and maybe afterward. On immigration? No, they went from we've got to keep illegal aliens out of our country to we need completely open borders and 3 million migrants coming in per year, 2 million of whom are illegal. On what? On sexual issues? No, we went from maybe teach sex ed in high schools to we need to trans the kindergartners. I don't think so. On what issue? On what issue have they become? On free speech? No, they went from let's tolerate free speech to let's censor all the conservatives. On what? They've moved radically left on all of the issues. What about the Republicans? Where have they moved right? On abortion, they're basically the same. Maybe they've moved a little bit more pro-life on abortion, but basically they're the same. On guns, no, they're pretty much the same on guns. On taxes, if anything, they've moved to the center on taxes and economic issues. On the social issues, on marriage, oh my gosh, many Republicans have just bought a complete radical redefinition of marriage given to them by the radical left. I don't think they're. On what issue? On if the Republicans have moved at all, and I suppose they have, they've moved to the center. And this is not just, well, the leftists say that it's the other guys who moved, and it's the conservatives say it's the other guy. No, you just look at the issue by issue. Tell me where I went wrong. I don't think I've said anything wrong. I'm giving specific examples. I can prove my argument. Sonny Hostin is just spouting platitudes because her party has moved radically to the left. I am so glad that you liked that clip. Now, you got to smash that button and ring that like and jiggle that doodad and make sure that you get the notifications for the Michael Knowles Show. Then you can head on over to wherever you get your audio podcasts for free. Not going to cost you a penny. Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, wherever, type in The Michael Knowles Show. You scroll, you see my swarthy, sultry face. You click on it, you subscribe, you leave a 5-star review, at least, I hope, and then we'll see you next time.